and also to kind of keep those in North America in tune with what's going on overseas with the M4 World Series and so much more from Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Now, I'm glad you brought up RQ Akira. Yo, they kind of surprised me. Honestly, RQ Akira, Takashi, that Benedetta, the man is a menace, and you guys will see that shortly, so I don't want to spoil too much about it. But I think one of the biggest things is some of these teams like RQ Akira, you know, Team Hack, like a lot of these teams, they're great teams, but I think they're underestimated. And I think that may have been the problem for the Valley going forward for their group D. And I think even like because the Valley's first game, right? They won against S11 Argentina, and they won pretty fast. It was a really good, quick game, and I think they felt super confident. And honestly, like that was a really good performance for them. I think the world was going crazy, and they're kind of sweating with the performance of the Valley. But then after they went up against RQ Brazil, that's where you kind of seen maybe a little bit too much of underestimating their group. And even in the video, like when they were doing the group stage drawings and they interviewed Mobazane, I believe he said what they say he's gonna breeze right through it, you know?
Yeah,
Word from word. So honestly, I think
they're
this
breezing through it. Just on the wrong
yeah.
direction.
But I honestly think like we were saying, it's a little bit of underestimating what teams are out there. Even though like RQ Brazil, you know, Team Hack's, you know, champions, RQ Brazil as well, but like not as big as people like Blacklist and these more bigger known teams. And I think that's where the problem kind of fell. And I think Mobazane gave credit. He said Team Hack could possibly be a problem for them, but he didn't at all factor in RQ Akira. And honestly, even with a lot of the casters predictions, even M4 casters group stage predictions, a lot of people were kind of surprised. Like a lot of these teams are looking a lot better than people even imagined, especially RQ Akira. So before we jump into the matches with Blacklist, or not Blacklist, but the Valley, let's go ahead and jump into currently what's going on for M4. So right now we are inside of the knockout stage. Group stage has finished. Basically right now what you're looking at is the matches that we expect to see going forward, right? January 7th is going to be the first game. It's going to be what's that, Falcon going up against Onyx, and then you're going to see Echo, Team Hack, Todak, RQ, then RQ Brazil, Blacklist, the Valley, you know, the team we're rooting for, they're on the bottom side, and like I said, that's just because they had a lower win-loss ratio for Group D. So they are going to be going up against Burn Team Flash. I really want to see how that game goes. I know the Valley has a better record right now than Burn Team Flash. Valley's at what, 1-2, and Burn Team Flash is at 0-3. I mean, neither of them are really records to kind of brag about, but I think they have a chance, right? I think they can knock them down. I don't really see if they're going against anybody in that bracket. I'm glad it's Burn Team Flash. I'll say that because some of them are a little bit harder than Burn Team Flash down there. But then
Definitely on there.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you had
Cambodia has.
I was about to ask you that. If you had a couple teams down there, what do you think would be some of the powerhouse hitting teams on the lower bracket?
On the lower bracket, I see Incendio. I'm going to put them as definitely one of the teams. Incendio, I feel like they definitely take out MDH there. The Valley, although they have performed poorly, we have seen them up against, you know, some lesser teams. They went up against S11 Argentina. Sorry if you're a fan of S11. They are kind of a weaker team as far as these groups, and so is Valley, but able to beat them out. They do have a little bit of history on their side. Burn X Flash coming from Cambodia, I do believe. I don't think Cambodia has ever won a match in groups in any worlds from starting from the first M1 up to now. I think they have actually 0 wins in groups. So it would be a great this is a great opportunity for Valley to be able to find a little bit of momentum potentially up against a team that has never won in group. Obviously, the Valley has already secured a win in group, and then some of those players are already kind of getting it done in groups before, and even more so getting a third place in previous in M3. It would be extremely heartbreaking if they lost to Burn X Flash because they would hand them their first win, and we would also see the Valley get knocked out of the bracket. So I am expecting them, though, to be able to take out Burn X Flash. But that next spot is going to be rough, right? If they win that matchup against Burn X Flash, they're going up against the someone from the upper bracket, and that would be
Todak
either
or
Todak
RQ. Yeah.
or RQ. And that
That's gonna be a hard one.
The way Valley looks right now, I would be very scared to see them up against Todak and RQ. The only thing saving a little bit is that it's no longer a best of one. So you have a slight, just a little bit of wiggle room, right, to be able to bounce back. But it's not looking so good right now on paper, even if they do take down Burn X Flash.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because like Todak, I think that's one of your favorite teams, right, so far. Not even like prior to M4, like you've been keeping an eye on them. And then also Team Hack, they're from the same region. So the Malaysian champions this time around was Team Hack, but Todak, you cannot count them out. Honestly, a lot of people vouch for Todak being a better team overall than Team Hack. So, you know, the Valley kind of have.
I love Todak.
Huh? You don't think so?
I said I'm one of them. I love.
Oh,
Todak.
You're one of them. Okay, yeah. So that's a good point. And you know, the Valley kind of had a hard time against Team Hack. Obviously, Team Hack was able to kind of win it out, take that game in Group D. And now for them to have a chance to get paired up against the team that's possibly even better than them, they are up for a challenge. Like I said, even like Coach Deku said, I think match 1 of knockout stage, it's going to be a best of 3. Both day 1 and day 2 are going to be all best of 3s. After that, these matches are going to be best of 5s. So right now, I feel like I think they can breeze through. Using Zane's words right there. maybe use a different word. I think they can have a good game against Burn Team Flash. You just need to go on with a little bit of a game plan with the draft, because a lot of their drafts recently have been a little shaky, and some of the itemization has been shaky as well. And we'll kind of go into that when we watch their games. But looking at Burn Team Flash, we think they can beat them. That's definitely a strong prediction over there. Maybe use some guest coins and Mobile Legends for it, you know? The Valley owes me some guest coins. I'll tell you that.
They owe a lot of people coins.
They owe me some too. But I think they can do it. I think the Valley can take out Burn Team Flash. Now, the problem is going to be when they go into this next match after that, the second day, against either Todak or RQ Indonesia. Now, the question is, I know RQ, but honestly, like, a lot of people have been trying to say RQ Brazil is looking better than RQ Indonesia, you know? But I don't know, man. There's just a lot of good teams out there. There's a lot of crazy competition. And the thing is, like, it's you can't underestimate any of these teams. Even the teams that don't have a lot of wins or a lot of titles under their belt, like, they're still coming out there and performing and knocking out big name teams. So something to kind of watch out for as we go forward. Like I said, we are going to jump into some of these games so we can go ahead and see them. If you guys have any teams you're voting for, let us know. I got to ask some questions for those in the chat too. Like, let us know what teams y'all think will win inside of this bracket so far. Who do you think is going to win M4? You better be spamming everybody in the chat. Better be spamming the Valley, all right? We can't count them out. I know they had a couple of bad games, literally just a couple, but we'll see going forward. But enough about the bracket. Let's go ahead and jump into the games that kind of led the way for the group stage D for the Valley in M4.
Boost up his stats, but expect his
Hopefully it's not too loud. Hopefully you guys can still hear me too. But if I need to turn it up, I will. Just let me know, guys, okay?
Echo or Onyx, I want to see him final. Yeah, I can see. I don't think Onyx is gonna make it. We've seen Onyx.
You don't think Onyx? Oh yeah, I gotta watch theirs. Yeah, that's why I said I gotta watch their stuff. I'm gonna cover their footage on YouTube.
They exposed them, man. Once Kyrie was shut down, the match was over for Onyx. Echo's the real deal.
Bro, yes, bro.
Echo won without y'all.
Yo, Echo. I seen Echo's games. Oh my god, I'm definitely a Carl Teasy fan now, like crazy. I want to buy like their little Letterman jackets they have too, little purple Letterman jackets.
They jackets are crazy.
Yeah, yeah, they do. They do. I'm just a fan of the assassin style junglers, honestly. I've always been even though I can't perform on them like they can, it just takes jungling to another level in my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna jump into this. I'm gonna move myself out of the way. Hopefully you guys can hear. If it's not loud enough, I will turn it up. If it's too loud to where you can't hear me, just let me know, guys, and I will turn it down. But yeah, I appreciate everybody being here, everybody on Facebook as well. I'm joined by Coach Deku. We're doing an M4 breakdown for Group Stage D, and also just a generic breakdown of M4 and the brackets in general. So feel free to voice your guys' opinions as we progress through this. But looking at the draft so far, how do you kind of feel about this, Deku? I'll let you kind of spearhead this in the beginning, and I'll put my input on it as well.
I mean, I have my thoughts pretty well. I've already watched these matches. I also broke them down with some friends in our MLSA server. So I spoke with like UA from Gosu. I spoke with Boca Roscoe from Bloodhounds. I was speaking with Kush from Ackerman, and we kind of all had like the same feelings about this draft. And it wasn't. The composition itself wasn't really bad. It was the fact that they put chicken on this Grok is where it was overkill as far as like the tank and the front line things. If you've seen the previous matches, like when they were up against S11 and Chicken got his fighters, like when he had the Thamus, he had the Lapu Lapu. Even in the game when they lost to the Lapu Lapu, Chicken had a great match. Like individually as an XP laner, he had great matches. And definitely in the first match up against S11, I mean, he was taking 2v1s and taking a 1-for-1 trade, and that's a great trade for your XP laner every time of the day. And then they slotted him on utility, right? They already had Lolita, you had the Eve and the Akai, and they put him on Grok.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they slotted in 3 tanks, and at this point with Hoon on the Eve here, like it's a bunch of utility, but like where does the damage come in? And I don't want to be that guy. I hate to be that guy. The only person left to be the damage is Basic, and y'all seen Basic. We've all been seeing him perform or lack thereof in his performance. You're putting a lot on the line for a guy that hasn't really met the bar in everyone's eyes, at least for a gold laner, especially not just a gold laner, but for a gold laner in the M World Series. You know, like there's some beast out there in the gold lane. The person he's facing, matter of fact, that he faced in this match. Panda there is which is another question. I didn't understand why they let Wan through. They actually used this Wan Team Hack did in their Malaysia MPL. He's a great Wan player, so I don't know if they didn't have a good read, and that kind of goes back to the whole no coach, no analyst thing. Like that should have never been let through in the first place. But it's like, you got Basic out here, you put it all in his hands, and up against these teams, man, it's a lot. And the composition was just, it was overkill, man. 3 tanks and Eve, it was overkill. It was way too much.
Yeah, it's an excellent point indeed. And I kind of questioned it too when they pulled out the Grok, because like it's a lot of overkill on the front line. And not to mention, you got Min over there on the Wan, right? Wan loves heroes that want to kind of rush into these fights because that's easier weakness points for her. Even able to build some pin to be able to go in, maybe that Demon Hunter sword as well for those higher HP pool heroes. And I feel like they kind of opened up the door for their composition to work even better for the side of, Team Hawk. And I think you have to just kind of like, I just didn't understand the communication right there to have Chicken pick up the Grok. Even when you look at Gary over there on the Dairoth can kind of break the armor on these tanks, right? He can break the armor. If he hits them with those skills, his team just has to follow through, and it's going to be like their armor doesn't even exist, no matter how beefy they are. Even as tanks with full tank items, no matter what you see. And Chicken's not even going to run full tank on the Grok. He's going to run the damage Grok. A lot of people in M4 have been using the weapon mastery. And if not the weapon mastery, then they're going to be pulling out the high and dry Grok, depending on like if they're trying to quickly burst down whoever they're going against in that lane. But like I said, like it's just an easier time for Gary to rush in, kind of break that armor than anybody. You're going to see it too. You're going to see Ling go in there and be able to pretty much burst down even the beefier heroes just with Dairoth's assistance on breaking that armor. And like I said, I don't know. I don't think it was the wisest answer for this one. I think that's where they started losing the draft. I was a fan of Zayn on picking up the Akai. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind Hoon on the Eve, Shark on the Lolita. I mean, that's Shark's comfort pick. That's his pocket pick right there. So that was fine. But like right after that, it was just kind of like a little questionable. And then when he picked up the carry too, they don't even really have the beefiest lineup to really need the carry. I mean, carry can still work. I mean, carry's been a great marksman so far. But like you said, that's putting a lot of a lot of the game into the hands of Basic. Actually, almost all of it, because Hoon's just going to be there to what, slow and zonage, like zonage with the manipulation with his ultimate. But the one who's going to be going in and getting those kills, it's like protect the president right now over there for Basic, and that's not what you're going to see today. And I feel like they just made the draft a little bit harder than they needed to. And I always said I felt like this was going to be one of the issues possibly with the Valley, is that like over in the C server, you have a lot of junglers whose primary focus used to be assassins. So Ling, top Ling players, top Lancelot players, top Fanny players, you know, and Zane, he doesn't really play too much assassin. You might see him use a Hayabusa here and there, but like you don't see Zane pulling out a Ling. I've never seen Zane play Fanny. I mean, have you, Deku? So it's like
not unless he like might have done it from like a dono.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't play Fanny really play Fanny, but
exactly. And that's the thing is like when the assassins were like prioritized, it's meta back in the day, like in all these,
let this run too.
Yeah, when the assassins was kind of prioritized as meta back in the day, I feel like that kind of gave them the advantage because now they're like really good at them. And then when it kind of flexed over to like the tankier type meta, now it's kind of a hybrid. Like you can pretty much pull out what you want inside of the jungle. But I still think the assassins are just going to give them a little bit of a harder time. There's just more versatility in what they can pull off in these drafts. And I think it's just a really wise read over there from Team Hack for this game. So I know everybody's been talking about it. This is like the Valley's games is probably one of the most talked about things going on in M4 right now. Eyes are always on the Valley. It doesn't matter if they perform really well or they perform really bad. So let's jump into it. Let's go ahead and take a look at Team Hack over there versus the Valley. This is the group stage. It's best of one. Basically, these teams are competing to have the best win-loss ratio for their group so they can move up into the knockup stage for the upper bracket of M4. So appreciate everybody tuning in today from Facebook, YouTube, Discord. Also, we are the MLSA, the Mobile Legends Grim Academy, so our content doesn't only stop here. Every Friday, we do KOL mentoring sessions over here on Discord server, but we are live every Monday through Thursday on the MLSA Mobile Legends Grim Academy YouTube channel, and we host a lot of events, so definitely tune in. Join us over on our Discord. Maybe Spade can drop the link in the comments. But I appreciate everybody being here, man, honestly.
I had so many pet peeves with this match, man. It was so many questionable plays and decisions. It was crazy.
Well, hey, when you see him, point him out.
I'm gonna get right on it. I've been needing to have a vent session, and this is perfect. I mean, it was just. Hold up, we gotta talk about Pokemon stuff here on the Nintendo Switch. But nah, the match was crazy because, like, all right, so just right away, right in the lane, immediately. Right here, I have no idea why the Valley did not swap lanes. Like, after the first mini wave got cleared, it should have been an immediate swap. Because if you see, they put Earthol on basics, right? And everyone knows Earthol's like that counter to 1-1 in the lane. But since they didn't swap, you basically made the Earthol pick useless. Like, the whole point of that pick was to be able to not only have like the mobility to kind of get away from like Ling and Kadita and whatnot, with the movement that Earthol provides, able to be able to kite while attacking, but you don't get the counterplay against 1-1, and there's nothing Chicken can do against 1-1 up in that lane. And they let this happen, and then not only that, they let Dairoff stay on basic in the lane. Like, they didn't even assist basic in the lane. He was like all alone.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I was wondering the same thing. Like, usually you'll see teams adjust, but like when you don't adjust, right now they're just putting themselves as the reactive team. Like they're playing Team Hack's game from the beginning of the match. Like, and that's what Team Hack wants. There's a reason why they swapped the lane, but you don't want them to win with their textbook style of macro and micro. Like, you want to swap lanes, kind of give that 1-1 a hard time. Like, what is honestly, like, there's nothing really Fried Chicken can do. Not against a 1-1. 1-1's too mobile over there for that Grok, and he doesn't want to rush in. And that's a 1-1 with an Inspire. And once you get that level 4, it's very, very bad over there for Chicken. He's still gonna go damage build. So like, it's not like he's building defense against the 1-1. So yeah, it was kind of really questionable. And then you kind of see it on the bottom side, Lola over there on that Dairoth kind of pressuring Basic as well. Like, he wasn't really able to push out.
And like the other thing I didn't get is they were able to pick up turtles and stuff, right? But at the same time, with the composition they have, like it's 3 tanks and a very utility heavy maze, right? So obviously most of the focus as far as damage is going to be in Basic's hand. You want to try to get him online really fast, and you know, avoiding gold lane doesn't help that. Like look at him, like he was getting beat up all game, and you'll see like there was barely any rotations to Basic's lane, like at all. They were completely focused on turtles for whatever reason instead of helping him out in lane.
And I didn't understand that either, because I was like, you know, if it's Dairoth versus Iritho, right? You know Dairoth has to fight closer to that mid lane. Yeah, he could probably fight from afar with the skill 1, but primarily he's going to be more of that, put more of that pressure in the mid of that lane. And I was expecting like maybe a gank down to him to get Basic online. You know what I'm saying? Like focus on getting your marksman online, or vice versa. Look at Panda. Like look how aggressive Panda is, and Panda has the help from Hilda, but you're not really seeing, like you're seeing what Hoon over there helping Zane take his buffs, you know, and that's why I was kind of questioning it. And I know they have the Hilda to harass, and you're seeing it right now. Like if you look at the map, Hilda's already putting in work on Zane's farm, but like we're not really seeing too much help on the side lanes. And honestly, I feel like the side lanes is really what lost him. It's not Zane's jungle. Zane was getting turtles and everything, but it's just like the synergy on going to the side lanes, and there you go right there.
Yep, all alone. All alone.
I will say a wise thing about their draft, and I was like, as soon as I saw this draft, I kind of knew what was going to happen. Like, when you see that Kadita, you know Kadita's going to dive these turrets. She's going to be invulnerable to the damage. You know Ling's going to go in, dive it. That's what he's known for. Tips of Blades going down, invulnerable as well, and he's going to get that pickup, finish that kill. And then not to mention they have Min. They have a Hilda who can rush and take all the turret damage, worst case scenario, and definitely guarantee that kill. That is a full dive composition draft. And then to top it off, Lola having that Dairoth to break down the armor from this tankier composition that the Valley decided to go with. It's literally like grade S drafting right there. Only thing that was saving them, I would say, was like Zane getting the turtles, but that was not enough. Like it was the battle of the side lanes, honestly. I would 100% always trade a tower for a turtle every time. Every time.
I mean, in this composition for sure, I'm trading that as well. I'm going to my marksman lane, but a lot of that could have been avoided too if basically in the lane that chicken is. A lot of those the turtles spawn all in the top side, where Basic should have been. And if he's there, then you have dual purpose that you're able to help your marksman, and you're able to still go for these turtles if you want to. But since you're not, you know what I mean? It's just Basic's all alone on the island, and this was, all right. He was already behind at this point.
Yeah, I liked that, but then I was like, there was no follow through. Like, look at Iritho. Like, look at Basic. Like, he could have went for this tower here, you know. But I think maybe he was worried about Gary. I don't know. But look, if you look at him. He's not, bro. He could have cleared that. You know what I'm saying? He went back. He didn't even clear the minions. He just went back, and I was like, bro, he could have took that tower. He was going against Dairoth. You know where you see the maze and the marksman on the top side, and I didn't understand why he retreated back after they guaranteed that kill over there on Dairoth. Like there was nobody in that lane, and he saw Ling in the mid. Like I would have pushed that, honestly. That would have been a free tower.
Take a look at the setup here.
That was another thing. All those million blasts from Shark, nothing ever connected.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any good set in this match.
But
it was hard to catch it too. Like they were all very mobile, right? You got 1-1, you got Kadita, Gary on the wing. Like they're very hard to catch with the million blast.
Look at that. And speaking of the compositions, Panda on that 1-1, like we said, when they run that frontline composition, and all of them are freaking frontline for their team, like that's gonna make it easy for Panda to go in with that 1-1 and get the crossbow. It's like guaranteed crossbow tanks, honestly, like guaranteed. So I think that's one of the things that they needed to kind of look out for, is not allowing 1-1 to kind of get online and get those crossbow tanks.
To be careful here, they won the trade. Team Hack is just finding compensation. Yeah, with Turtle coming up in about 5 more seconds. Right now, the difference maker.
And they already took they took the top, they took the bottom tier 3 tower already. 6 minutes in, and their response was to get a couple of turtles. Like it's not an equal trade.
And losing all those towers also, like, again, affects basic, because as a marksman, like, you need the lanes to be able to farm, right? But if you don't have towers out there, your ability or like your zone to farm like shrinks. Right, so now that they're already down to tier 2s on the side lane, there's really nowhere safe for him to farm except mid, and that's actually where he is right now. That's the only safe spot to catch the waves nice and early is in the mid lane.
I think you know, Shark and Hoon should have focused more on protecting the side lanes. I mean, Zane's already running an Akai. Like, he's running a beefier jungle who has utility at his disposal to get out of these tricky situations, even if a Hilda's harassing him. But you've seen them kind of protecting Zane, like playing around Zane's playstyle and trying to get him online, and you're letting the side lanes kind of hurt when you do that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Not it would now. If he was an assassin, if Zane was an assassin jungler, then I would have said, okay, yeah, exactly. Like if he was running a Ling, if he's running a Fanny, I'm like, okay, I can see it. Hilda's trying to harass. It's gonna stop him from getting that blue buff to pop off. He needs to manage that energy. Then I'm like, okay, I can see it. But when you're running an Akai, there's no need to protect an Akai in the jungle. Like if they're gonna harass an Akai in his jungle, that's fine. You guys can harass the side lanes and you'll win towers at the disposal of Akai not winning a buff. But that's still a good trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I don't know. Let us know what you guys think too. Definitely voice your guys' opinions over there on Discord, Facebook, YouTube.
Fried Chicken cannot be able to find the kill.
It was actually ridiculous watching this. It was so many, like, I don't know.
They understand the composition has
like, they're drafting
the
they were, I think it's S11. They drafted kind of the same composition, but they didn't have 3 tanks.
Yeah,
right. I mean, he had Samus, right, but Samus does a lot of damage, and he was actually playing like permanent clear on the lanes and then taking 1v2s, which was causing distractions. Brock didn't do much of anything at all. But they took the same kind of composition. It was like a protect comp. It was a lot of utility in the way to like be able to kind of protect and zone around basic, but they still had Chicken able to like have some carry potential right in the side lane. There wasn't much carry potential coming from Brock. Like he's just another set option, honestly, at that point. And a little like threat for re-engage, but that's it. You can't really, you're not really going to be able to do too much. There's no macro that you can have, and that's another thing. Like I was talking about with some of the bigger players out here in North America. Is like you can't even like macro this out. Like there's no like split pushing capability. Like there's no pressure to the waves to have this off because you have all tanks. No one can like clear up the map.
Let's talk about this this Hilda. How do you kind of feel about Hilda recently? I've been seeing her slotted a lot more.
Well, this is normal for them, and that's why I said like Valley not having like a culture analyst. This is normal. Panda with Wan, they do this in the Malaysia MPL. The Hilda, they do this in the Malaysia MPL. So does Todak. Todak and Team Hack are kind of one of the things. Well, I'm actually kind of worried. Like, well, for one, I don't think Todak's gonna fall to RRQ. But let's say hypothetically, right? Valley beats Burnex Flash, Todak falls to RRQ. Valley's gonna face basically another Team Hack in lieu of like Todak. Like they're literally the same. They're just as oddball with the compositions. Their strats are unorthodox. They have the same, weird angles they like to come at you in the gameplay and in the draft as far as their picks. And it's like, it's just not. I don't know. Valley. I don't know if Valley just didn't do any homework, and I don't think they did because obviously they said like they had an easy group or whatever, but obviously not, and they didn't do any homework. They gave up like 2 comfort picks here to Team Hack.
I also felt like a lot. Yeah, I mean this one was clearly not only like an issue of not knowing what to prioritize when they were in the game, but it was also an issue of like what they drafted. But I noticed kind of a similar pattern. Like even Fried Chicken in the XP lane, like I was kind of like wondering, like even here 0-2 and 0, very not a good KDA. Lost every single tower. I mean, he picked the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have picked the Grok. But then even as we progress through this, you'll see him go. What was he was playing Lapu against the Benedetta, and you'll kind of see him get beat in that lane as well. And I think it's just a difference of like knowing what to prioritize, and also like even when I was coaching professional teams, I had a team place top 32 in A. Like I would kind of focus, especially in the XP lane. I wouldn't really go for that direct matchup, but I would go for that what utility that hero provides for the team. And like usually when I would see like even back in the day, like when Esmeralda was, everybody was spamming Esmeralda, right? They weren't spamming her because she was beating everybody in the lane. They were spamming her because what she had to offer on the map. Like she could cut the lane, you would run sprint on her, she's uncatchable. She had life steal, she was able to get those shields and stay alive. So she pretty much could do everything. She would be able to split push, create that opportunity for the neutral objectives such as the turtle and the lords. And that's why you would pick Esmeralda, right? I'm picking Esmeralda because I'm going against a Freya in the XP lane. I mean, yeah, you could probably do that too, but I'm just saying they would pick Esmeralda for the entire capability of what she provides, right? And that's what you're kind of seeing a lot of these teams do. Even when you see Benedetta picked out by RQ Akira, when they pick up that Benedetta in the hands of Takashi, like he's split pushing. He's gonna turn these 4v4 situations into a 4v5 because he's leaving Chicken in the XP lane, still trying to catch up to the minions that he proxied, and he's already in these turtle fights, these lord fights, and these are what helps them like take advantage of the early game. And this is what puts the Valley on the back end because they don't have an answer. Like they need an answer for those cuts as well.
Well, that's what I was saying too. Is like as far as like having the Grok, there's no macros to see another Nubian Blast. I think Shark is like 0 for 5 on Nubian Blast, so it was horrible to lose as well. But it goes right back to what I was saying about the Grok. Like you don't have any. There's no one to push these lanes, right? Like Esmeralda, like you don't have anyone like okay, let's maybe give this first Lord up or give this turtle up, and we'll have Chicken go and push up. Grok can't split push. You know what I mean? Like there's no macro you can get from a Grok. There's no pick on their team to be able to out macro the side of Team Hack. Team Hack has lane, you know what I mean? They have the pick off, with the Hilda, Kadena, Dom. Even if they did want to go split off with these picks, they just get taken out of the match if they try to go for it. But obviously that wasn't even an option with those picks. You got 3 tanks and a utility mage, bro. There's no playability in that.
I think it, like we said, it's on the draft, and it's also on needing to have an answer for what you're going up against. Like and we'll see a kind of a similar pattern as we progress through the other 2 games. But like even that one, like it was just a very fast, fluid game for Team Hack. They were able to optimize the draft, work with what they picked, and you kind of seen the Valley. I don't know if it's nerves a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I honestly don't think Zane's jungling is not the problem. Like he's at the right place, the right time. He was even in a lot of these matches going forward. You're gonna be able to see them take like he's gonna take turtles. You know what I'm saying? He's in the right place, the right time. I think it's a problem in the side lanes, like, and a problem probably with the tank and the mage getting their side lanes online. Like you have to protect your side lanes going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot let, especially when in the beginning of that match when you've seen them swap lane. That was, I don't even see teams traditionally do that. So I was like, wow, that was really smart over there by Team Hack to swap their XP and their marksman right as the game started. Like you don't traditionally see that, but we didn't see no response. Like the Valley just treated it as if it didn't even happen. Like they're just like, okay, cool, let's just play. And I'm like, it's a game of chess, man. They did it for a reason.
You gotta adjust.
Yeah, you gotta adjust. You gotta make them uncomfortable. If you let them be comfortable, eventually they're gonna pile on top of you and take that win. And that's just what we happen to see. So now we're gonna move on. We're gonna go ahead and watch the Valley versus S11 Gaming. This was a really good game over there from the Valley side. I had to give, and this was the one where I was like, okay, the Valley's. I want to say this was their first one. This was the first game they did.
It was their first one.
And
it was their first match and the first win. That was good.
Exactly. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, the Valley's about to be. This was a good opening statement. And I thought it was gonna be like this the entire time throughout that whole phase. Look at that.
You're gonna see the draft setup again. Like there's the even little leader, right? It's a great killing, it's a great zoning and like team fight opening picks right there with the real world Nubian Blast combination. We've seen it a lot. It's a very strong mid and roam 1-2 combo, and it's set up. They set it up basically the same way as they did up against RQ Akira, but the difference there is with Akir, they took that Grok, like I said, but here in this first match, they offered the damage to Chicken's hand, which you have macro capability with the damage, and not only that, but you have the 1v2 capabilities as well that Chicken did perform in this match once he got himself fattened up with that gold, able to take on members from S11, but they strayed away from that. So like they still have to protect comp. Like when I seen them going up against RQ Akir, I was excited. Like I seen the two picks, like they're going for the protect comp again. They're gonna get basic online. They're gonna have a strong team fight composition, and then they put in the Grok, and I'm like, why? This is too much. This is overloading. You're overcompensating.
Yeah.
You're trying to cover something, but you're opening up so many other holes in the draft. If they would have stayed how they played with S11 in the draft game, I think they would have had. I don't know if they would have won. I can't say 100% they would have won, but they definitely have a much better game for sure. Like this is the exact same, bro. You just take the marksman. It's no ear through the carries. Open carry was banned in the next match between Hack. Carries open here, so they took the carry. No ear through. You put Zane back on the Akai. We know, like you said,
It's literally the same exact draft minus fried chicken not running Grok. Yeah. And
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know why they ran away from it. They had the exact same openings, bro. You just moved it. They had the counter pick in the goal lane instead of carry, and then you give Chicken something he can actually work with in XP and make plays with. They put Grok and they completely scuffed the composition they ran for up against S11.
yeah.
Evo leader Chicago, you have the draft condition unlocked.
I'm starting to think though, like, and I'm glad you made that point. Like, I feel like Chicken, he's better off running actual fighters that can fight than running like somebody like Grok. But on top of that, I think where his issue is, where he does lose at, is when the people use fighters that are not meant to stay in that lane. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're running fighters that are just gonna proxy the lanes, I think that's where Chicken has a harder time kind of adjusting. Because right now he's running against what? He's going against what? Fredrin? So Fredrin's not gonna. I mean, Fredrin, even when he's running, Fredrin's walking. So you know, so I don't. It's not a battle of mobility here for the XP lane, but when you have to kind of keep up and chase the XP lane that you're going up against, I think that's where Chicken kind of falls short. And I think he needs to adjust to maybe running something with a little bit more mobility, or not. If it's not more mobility, something to stop that fighter that he's going up against from proxying his minions. Because when they proxy those minions and they cut for these objectives, it literally, like, that's the Valley's weakness right now, is they don't have an answer for it. They can't outlive those engagements, those 5v4s, and it starts from, you know, Chicken opening up that door by allowing them to proxy that lane. So with Fredrin, you're not going to see that.
They have to give him the right pick. They have to give him the right pick.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to fight this level 1, level 2, and cut wave and live. You're definitely going to die out. Unless you're maybe like Terizla, maybe at best. Otherwise, you're definitely taking too much damage. Even if you did successfully cut, you're not gonna be able to rotate and make a play. You're gonna have to go base. And that's why I said, like, they have the right pick here, the right tools here in the hands of Chicken, and then they strayed away from it, right? Like this was for what they went for up against Team Hack. This is the peak of that composition. Like this is exactly what you want in that protect comp, where you're trying to focus around basic and make sure he's doing okay in the game. You just can't put another tank over there in Chicken's hand, bro. You have a whole bunch of utility. You got Lumium Blast, you got the shield, you got the stun, you got the headbutt that knocked off Makai, you got the heavy spin, you got real world manipulation. You basically have perma stun with Kuhn's slow on you. You don't need a wild card in the XP lane, bro. You don't need it. You need some push. You need some flanking. That's what you need. You need someone to be able to make those rotations and join in those team fights, which is exactly what your comp is made for, is for 5v5.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's why I said I think it's a lack of knowing what to adjust with in the XP lane for sure. I think this one worked out just because they picked up Fredrin on Papa Dog, but like I think a lot of teams that run more of those mobility XP laners, I think that's where Chicken kind of needs to adjust a little bit better.
And he is gonna
with them already contesting Zane's buff. But this one was like, this was the first game, and honestly, I was very like, when I seen the Valley do this, I was like, oh yes, I bet all my guest coins on them. Let's go. I guess that's why you don't gamble, right?
Because I knew it was like Latom. I knew they still had, you know, had to go against RQ here, who I hadn't watched a lot, but I heard they dominated the Brazilian scene. And like, I mean, from watching them play, I can see why. So I didn't think it was going to be for free. But I was excited that they did win the match, as I'm sure most people in NA, because, you know, like, it was the first match. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting their first, you know, appearance out there, they're going to get a victory. That's a great feeling.
And they didn't just get a good, like, this one was like a strong victory too. You know what I mean? There's those wins where you win and you're like, okay, that was a good game. This one was like, dang, the Valley coming in strong like that. I was very hyped about it, and then I seen RQ Brazil, and I was like, RQ Akira, and I was like, oh snap.
Well, this mid game might be what they need. Aaron going in.
I had to copy Takashi's build on that Benedetta. Somebody asked Falcon Esports, how you feel about Falcon Esports, Deku? Any thoughts on it?
Because the Valley could be what S11 is going to do, because you see like a test. You know, it was actually funny because when Falcon was shown, obviously going to Worlds or whatever, there was a lot of people saying they were like a Dark Horse team, which I didn't agree with. I think they're a much better team and much more established and recognizable beyond being a Dark Horse. They're supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like, they should be doing good. There should be no surprise that they do well. I mean, they dominated over Blacklist. I mean, they beat Blacklist twice in the same night. I mean, there's not many people that can say they beat Blacklist twice in general in Worlds. And they did it twice in one evening, one sitting, with like a 15-minute lunch break. You know what I mean? So you got to give them the respect. I love Falcon. I didn't hear about them until it was actually when BTK, right? When they went over to Doggy's boot camp or whatever, and they were scrimming. It was actually before their matches that day. They mentioned they were facing a team called the Falcon Esports, and that was my first time ever hearing about them. I started looking them up or whatever. And they had been around. You know what I mean? Like, they had been competing a lot. They had been around. They scrimmed a crazy, insane amount against these professional teams, which is why they look like they've been here before. You know what I mean?
Right.
They spend a lot of time scrimming up against Blacklist, which is why it was kind of funny as well. They kind of did Blacklist the way that they did, getting that 2-0 for the night. Like, Falcons, they're an amazing team. And I think they kind of got too much negativity for losing first day or whatever, and you know, I don't know. I guess people doubted Falcons. They came back the next showcase and just dominated Blacklist.
I feel like that show is trying to do too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes on them. For those who don't know, we are the Mobile Legends Group Academy. Today we're kind of breaking down some M4 content, looking at the Valley, the primary focus right now, kind of seeing how they performed in the group stage. A little bit of insight from me and also Coach Deku over here. I know a lot of people asking about teams, so I am currently covering teams. So is Coach Deku. I'm using my YouTube channel to kind of go through each team day by day. So I will be doing Falcon next and watching all of their matches for their group stage. So if you guys want to tune into that, it'll be over on my YouTube, not my Facebook, but it'll be over on my YouTube channel to kind of cover all 3 games in one stream. And I'm gonna do that for every team in the group stage. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. And then Coach Deku's also been making content too. Also definitely tune into his YouTube, tune into him. He's also been kind of linking up with Zero ML for some content as well. Yeah, what did y'all recently broke down? What was the recent one you just did, Deku?
Without the cooldown reduction on the red tree.
It was Falcon versus Blacklist, both of the matches. Falcon versus Blacklist broke down those games.
That means Momo has evolved so much since we last saw him on the world stage.
He got some great turnaround too. We had 1K views by the end of the night.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely tuned in. We're definitely tuned in to M4.
Gotta break it down, man. Someone's gotta break it down.
I gotta catch some of it during the daytime because it's so late. You know, like, oh man, it's really.
I catch it when they happen, and then when we broke down with Zero, it was his first time watching it. So I was kind of guiding him through what was going on and like what had happened, and then you know he kind of just joined in with his own critiques and analysis. But yeah, I watch these as soon as they go live, man, because you just never know what's gonna happen. I mean, we've had crazy matches all World Series. It hasn't been anything that like a lot of the matches everyone thought was like was gonna go a certain way, like get stomped where it was going to easily go in the favor of one side. It has not been the case. And so I was like, I got to stay up. I got to stay up and watch these matches. You literally never know what's going to happen right now.
So do you have, has any of these teams kind of swayed your opinion about them since group stage? Anybody that you're kind of like, oh, I didn't think they were that good, but you see them kind of outperform in the group phase?
And there's not much
Akira?
can do here. Again, my eyes are on
mainly
Erwin.
now I can't say because I didn't think they were going to do good. Like I said, I didn't hear I didn't know them very well. I heard about them a lot, but I hadn't actually sat down and watched them play over in Brazil. So getting to see them play, they definitely got my respect. I went so far as to say when I was discussing with UA that we were talking about the team, I said I offered a hot take that I believe RRQ Akira is
You wanna know secret?
landslides
Indonesia.
bounds better than RRQ Indonesia. Yeah, I truly believe RRQ Akira is the better RRQ organization, like without a doubt.
They're very impressive for sure. I was over there watching Echo. I know there's a bunch of Echo fans out there, man. Carl Teasy, crazy. I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on RRQ Akira now. They're definitely on the map. Kind of surprising everybody with how well they've been performing. I want to say they took one loss on group stage, right? Who did they lose? They lost to RRQ Akira. They weren't 3-0, right? No, I don't think they were 3-0. Let me look. I'll find it out.
I think they are.
Are they? Hold on, let's see. I thought they lost one.
Now he doesn't have enough.
Well, great commercial break right on time.
Enough damage. Now you
Actually, I have all the draft saves. I have all like the wins.
Not
and
looking
stuff.
good. There's just a lot of options available for countering this
I don't recall them losing, but I can check for sure. On day 2,
They lost to Team Hack.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, they beat Team Hack.
January 2nd. Oh, no, they lost. Oh, no, my bad.
No solution.
Yeah, they beat on day 2. They faced the Valley and Team Hack, and they won both those matches. And then
Look, he's sitting at 0-3-1. Usually the Fredrin wants to go 2v1, 3v1 in lane. The way that the economy is
Valley
done,
beat S11 Argentina. RQ Akira beat the Valley.
I don't know what
Team Hack
rotating means.
lost to
I'm just
RQ
gonna stay
Akira.
here, and if someone wants to stop me,
RQ
yes,
Akira
they can.
Yeah.
But while you're trying
on
to
January
stop me,
4th lost to
everyone else
S11
moving
Argentina.
the
That's who it
gears
was.
towards
S11.
mid.
That's who
Moving
got
oh,
the
they
him.
lost to S11.
Yeah.
Outside in the jungle.
I didn't even watch that
Valley's
match.
taking
I would
off.
assume they would have won.
That's a play by the Valley.
I didn't get to really catch that one either, but I seen it and I was like, that was kind of a surprise. Because S11, Argentina, they're the ones, this is what we're watching right now. This is the team the Valley beat.
monster. You see how much
You know?
damage he was
Well,
doing?
see, that's the
All they need
interesting
to
thing,
slow
right?
down Erwin,
I
not
feel
even
like
stop
people
him in
look
his
at it
tracks.
too
It's just,
cut and
okay, stay
dry.
there for a
Like
bit.
on the
Alright,
paper,
good,
like
we move on.
things are linear.
Moving
Like
on.
the
Moving
certain
on
play
right now, the
styles
skill score
do
is
matter. So like what
6-1, and
the
as of
Valley
beginning,
has
it
been
looks like
going
they're
for, right, is a
not
lot of
entirely
these protect
sure
comps. It might
what
be
should
strong
they
against
do. And right now,
a
it's
team
Hayabusa
like
is just trying to clear
S11,
the
and then
way.
obviously
Supershark
weak
as well as
against a
Fight
team
Chicken.
like
Really don't care. This
RQ
is the
Akira.
first
And
Lord.
the same can be
Can
said about the way
act the
S11
Valley
plays.
right
Why
now.
are we weak
They don't really
against
have a lot
the
of ways to
Valley?
work
It's
around
a
it.
great
Of
play
course, they have
style
the
up
high
against
ground coming
RQ
in
Akira.
with
So it's like
the real world
you got to
manipulation.
take the
Now
wins
with the
and
waves
losses
being
against these
pushed,
teams
they're
like
gonna get
with a
one
grain of
right?
salt because
But
it's more about the
S11
team
playing
matchups,
calculatively,
as they are lined up against each other and their general play style. It's not really about who they beat. It's about how they match up against you, and if they just have a better matchup against you as far as their play style, then they can win again. It don't matter who you beat previously. If they have a better play style against you, they just have a better play style.
I also think it's like I think it's making Chicken uncomfortable. Like when they ran that Fredrin, Chicken wasn't really uncomfortable in that XP lane, but when they run something that makes him uncomfortable, like it kind of shows. And I think like even with Papa Dog when he picked that Fredrin, there wasn't really too much pressure in terms of cutting his lane. And we'll see as we progress. Like, and I think that's what it is. Like if they run more of that stalemate in the XP lane, then Zane can kind of do his thing in the jungle and make it work. You know what I mean? But like when I feel like when they have somebody that kind of sets off their tempo, sets off their momentum, like a split pusher, or even something crazy off the wall like a marksman starting the XP lane or an XP lane starting the marksman lane. Like I think those kind of things, the Valley has to learn how to be more adjustable. They need to learn how to adjust and switch the tempo and stop being a reactive team to what's happening. Like you don't want to play their game, you want to play your game. So I feel like they just need to learn, okay, they swap lanes, we swap lanes. We'll take the tempo of this match. We're not going to let them take control. And I think that's what they got to learn how to do, because if they don't do that, you're going to see teams, you know, who are able to adjust and make them uncomfortable, kind of win them out in the early phase and take the game. But like a team like S11, that you don't really see them do that in this one. But that is a kind of pattern that I noticed with Team Hack and also RQ Brazil or Akira. That's kind of how they played it out, and that's where you've seen the Valley kind of struggle.
Sharpshooter.
Well, I mean, it also goes back to, again, them not having any. There is no one to really like lead that call, lead that direction. It's hard to expect that from a player. There's not many players that can play and actively lead the team as far as coaching on the fly, in the draft, adjustments in the game. And that's why it's kind of important, and why people kind of harp on them needing a, you know, some upper management above them, because it's asking a lot for them to be able to do that on their own. While I do feel like it's simple looking from the outside in, it's a little harder for the players to think about it.
I think to a certain extent. I think to a certain, like, an example of that would be like Chicken when he picked the Grok. I don't think you need a coach to tell you not to pick the Grok in the XP lane, you know? Or I think it was more like
Well, because you see, they did use that before, though, right? They have played Grok in the X-Plane, but they didn't slot it that way with two other tanks. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place for it, and I think it's like, okay, we know Grok is good in the XP for us, but was it good in this draft?
And I think another part is like when they swap lanes in the beginning, like I feel like, because when you're in the game, you don't have a coach. The coach can't talk to you in the game, so it's not like these teams, like once the draft is done, the draft is done. You know, and then it's more on the
But that's also a strat that, you know, Team Hack has ran, and so has Todak. It's not unusual for them to swap lanes, but it's unusual for the Valley to see them swap lanes, because not only are they not watching these teams, they don't have a coach or analyst to tell them this about these teams. The same reason why they gave up picks like the Wano on the Panda, or like they gave up the Link to Gary, you know, stuff like that. Like, if you have someone on, you know, behind your team back and you give them this information, those type of things wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or they shouldn't happen, but they're just going in, you know, no information. It's all players. They're just, you know, two thumbs on a cellular device here, and they're trying to game against teams with, you know, not only highly gifted players, but highly gifted staff.
I think it's, I think that's a good point. Like, yeah, it's an uphill battle, because like without having a coach, they're gonna always follow Victor down to like the ones that do their research on them and that know their comfort picks. You know, the coaches that stay up all night and have a whole book against their team. And that was one of the conversations that was brought up on the roundtable too. Like, there's more information out there now. Like, there wasn't as much information on the Valley for BTK, or there wasn't as much information for BTK as there was for the Valley, right? There's a lot more information out there for coaches to grab for the Valley, because the Valley's on the spot. Like, once BTK came in third place, anything Mobazane did, it was now put in the spotlight, like, forever. Whoever he played with, you know, whoever those teammates were. So I'm like, that's a lot. That gives the coaches a better time, or easier time, to kind of figure out how to kind of build a comp around them to give them a hard time and mess up their tempo. And I think that's a good statement, a good read to say that, you know, without the coach there, you don't have somebody to do that for you. And when you put that all into the players' hands of having to do that, it's hard. It's a lot of information to gather on top of already having to run scrims, practice, and do everything. And you got to do that for every team you go against, you know? So, one thing for sure, they definitely need a coach, for sure.
And like, you can see the difference, because even in their M3 run, right? Granted, they got third place, but most of those teams only met them once. Blacklist met them twice. Now, obviously, they lost to them first. Their first appearance up against them. I feel like that was the underestimation part, right? And not the proper scouting, whatever, you know, gathering information. They kind of underestimated BTK, but the second time they faced them, they already had them figured out, right? And that's where the coach and the analyst comes, you know, into play there. And I mean, even without them, I feel like players like, you know, with Venus and Wise, you know, because those guys are such, those are the type of players I mean, like, it's far for players to be able to not only play the game, but actually be able to like lead and coach and guide through the draft and the game.
Right.
Well, I can't say why specifically, but Venus for sure is one of those coach/players. Like Venus could do that. Venus doesn't really need a coach behind him to lead these type of games and lead against these teams as far as breaking them down and then interacting with the actual fights. Valley doesn't have those kind of players. You know what I mean? They don't have the players. The closest thing is Zane, and even Zane, I feel like, made bad calls. I mean, you have a heavy frontline oriented composition with really one damage dealer, and instead of prioritizing getting that damage dealer online, you're going for Ket Turtle. You know what I mean? You're going for little shield.
What's up, JM in the building, Beatrice? Yeah.
And you know, that's right there. I feel like that's as Zane being kind of that guy that, you know, he gets praised for being so analytical and having this great insight. There's obviously major shortcomings at times when it really matters here on the world stage. It's leading kind of to their downfall right now. And they 100. I know Zane is very adamant against needing a coach, an analyst. I do believe Basic and Beluto said they wanted one. I feel like at some point there has to be some level of acceptance. Like it's not a bad thing to need a coach and an analyst.
DCG in them.
Yeah, I saw. They've been going crazy, man. G, Combat Cat, all of them now tricks in there,
Still
bro.
RRQ, right? So we're
There's
gonna
nothing
see
wrong
the
with needing a
same
coach and
vibe
analyst.
that we mentioned
All the
earlier,
great teams have a coach and
head-to-head with
analyst.
the Valley with
You know what I
way
mean?
more
And I just feel like
ability in
Valley
their arsenal.
denying
They do
having a
have
coach
lot
or
of
analyst is a
skill,
very
and as well as they are
big
gonna be able
misplay.
to
And
maneuver
I actually
around
heard,
the
I believe
CC
someone
heavy
said,
of
I don't know if you're familiar with, but the Philippines caster, the
It's gonna be
analyst
tough
Wolf,
here. I'm not sure. There's a
actually
lot of
reached
questions
out
that need
and
to be
offered
answered, but there's only one
be,
way
to work with the
define it.
Valley, and
It's through
they
battle.
denied
Welcome,
that.
everybody. It's
Allegedly,
RRQ
from
and
what I've heard,
Kira
I'm not going
going
to
up against
confirm
the
that's
Valley in this.
truthful,
Best
but
of
from
one.
some
Good luck
sources
to
I
both
did hear that, and if that is the case, that's absurd. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. We can't really say though because we don't know. I don't want a bunch of YouTube videos out saying Wheezy said they. Hold on now.
I'm not going to confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if that is the case, that just leads into another thing where it's like, you have to take, it's a valuable resource. It's a valuable resource.
Well, I don't think that's true. Only reason though is because I personally have met Zane and talked to him about it, and they were actively looking for one. So I don't think that's true. I don't see why they would deny it.
That's what I mean. That started from Basic and Baloo, because Zane has said on stream himself adamantly that he doesn't believe that. They did that with BTK, that they adamantly didn't believe they needed a coach or analyst. So I don't think it's from Zane's end from why he said it, but definitely from Basic and Baloo, because they have openly said that they wanted a coach or analyst. And I feel it's just, I would love to see if they had one there. I think it's not the talent that Valley lacks, right? They have talent, but you need direction, right? There has to be some type of...
Yeah, there's only so much you can kind of free ball, At some point you need to... Yeah.
Because none of these teams, it's not like you're facing teams that don't have talent. Like, they're all, for the most part, these teams are like neck and neck. They're even as far as talent goes. The difference comes with game plan, comes with level of execution, and then, the strategies put in place behind them to use. And I just feel like Valley doesn't get that extra boost. And I feel like
you can see it too. I feel like you can see it. You can see it because there's a lot of plays, even in this game alone, right? There's a lot of plays where you'll see, like, if you pay attention to Chicken in the XP lane, there's a lot of times where he's kind of confused on where he should go. And it's because Benedetta on Takashi is already out-rotating him and is all over the map, and Chicken's not sure, like, should I take the tower? Should I go back to go for this fight? But I'm not, by the time he gets there, it's way too late. And you can just tell it's like, so a lot of these engagements, it would have possibly been better for him to just take the tower since Takashi's all the way up in the gold lane. But he doesn't. He just runs all the way up to the gold lane, and by the time he gets there, his whole team is dead. And it's like, at that point, you might as well just took a tower and at least translated that engagement into a trade on the bottom side. But you don't see that. And, like, again, these little things, even though the coach isn't directly in the game, like, even with, with teams I've coached, teams Deku and me have coached together, like, we still talk about theory, right? We still talk about what to do in certain situations, like the one I just spoke about. Like, if the XP lane's all the way in the top side, and you're not going to be able to out-rotate him, you're not going to be able to get there, that's okay. Take the tower. Like, you win the tier 3 tower, at least they didn't die for no reason. But when they die for no reason, and then you cut up there to try and get a kill, and then you die as well, it's it's not help. And then not to mention you didn't get the tower on the bottom side. That's where the disconnect is, and that's where you need a coach. You need a coach that has a plan book, that has a video reviews, that, you know, they sit out there, they kind of break these games down, and they get onto the players. And we've done that. Like, we coach teams all the time. Deku kind of coaching a team right now, a few teams, and like I said, with that, you gotta kind of break down, you know, the game plan, especially when you're gonna go somebody who's not able to cut as much. You know, Benny's gonna outcut him. And I even said here, I would have been a fan of somebody on Chicken that was a little bit more mobile with the way he was playing. I would have probably even pulled out it. Like, I'm a big fan of Yuzong recently. I feel like Yuzong's a really good pick that not too many people pick up, but I think even him with the Black Dragon could have gotten a lot of these engagements, could have got some Petrifies in. Instead of trying to bank on a Lapu Lapu catching up to a Benedetta in the gold lane all the way from the XP side. It's just not gonna happen, bro. Not to mention, look at Benedetta, look at Takashi right now. Like, this is what I'm saying. He already proxied his minions, and he's gone. He has what? Bloodlust Axe to be able to get that's like what, the second item after your boots that you're picking up on that Benny. So he already has sustainability down. He's not worried about Chicken at all. Chicken's like trying to play, like, look right now, he's trying to play catch up, but look at Takashi, like, and this is kind of the thing I had an issue with, was just not paying attention, or possibly needing to pick a little bit better of an answer for the XP lane when you go up against these high mobility fighters. And then there you go, you look at now Chicken's gonna join the fight, but by then Turtle's already been taken, multiple bodies have dropped. You do see Chicken trying to rush in and get a kill, able to get one. But like I said, it's just too late. Now look at Chicken, 3v1 situation, not really taking too much damage, a lot of utility used, but like, if he would have ran a more mobile hero, right? Or if he would have just shot called that Benedetta was there, like, they could have adjusted around that. And I don't know if it's a shot call issue or not. One of these games, I want to say, I would have to go back and see which one it was, but there was an example where actually it was this game. And I'll rewind back to it after the game's finished to show you guys, but Hoon was first blood. Hoon was first blood for the Valley, and he died into the hands of Takashi on that Benedetta. And I was wondering how did that even happen, because he was right next to the tier 3 tower in the mid lane. And he got taken down by Benedetta, and I'm like, was there no, like, shot call? Because I know, like, one thing, like, we kind of harp on with teams we coach is, if you don't see that fighter in your lane, you better best believe you're calling them out and saying, hey, I think they're going to the mid lane, you know? But the chance that Benedetta got all the way to the mid lane, got all the way to Hoon and killed him by himself, was kind of crazy to me, because I was like, where was the communication there? Like, how did that, was it a communication? Was there a shot call and Hoon just decided not to go back, or did he not say anything at all and just assumed Benedetta was in the bush and gave first blood over to RQ Akira? I don't know. I'll show you guys the play near the end of this video. I'll go back and show you, but those little things, like I said, that's where, like, a coach comes into handy, because, like, these little things are always talked about. And I think hopefully over there in Indonesia, they have somebody sitting down breaking these games with them, if not themselves doing it, you know, together. But they need to be talking about these things, because these are huge mistakes that we kind of see.
Picking up a kill, but look at the backside. It's Fried Chicken. Find one for himself. But ultimately now Takashi going to be caught in a position.
Takashi was just a monster, though.
Does he still commit to it? He bobs, he weaves.
And this is what I kind of felt like he was like the holding the team together in this match right here, because he was just doing it all. He was split pushing. He helped him on the turtle. Man, it's 5-0-1, bro. And you look at Chicken. Chicken's 2-0-1. But, like, what else did they gain? They gained turtles out of these engagements and everything. From Takashi playing a huge part in that. Chicken wasn't really a huge part of it. His kills were more like late to the party and then bursting people down after all the utility was used. But, like, it wasn't really translating into objectives.
The golden staff as well as basic now, but remember that is going to be the key item for Gusa. Gusa is once again, they're going in for an engage.
They pull the trigger on Saiyan, they push him back here.
I want to look at the items too when they kind of bring them up. We'll kind of pause and look at them too.
Gusa though, able to grab a kill for himself, but they do trade the turtle. Nothing too much after that.
Why Chicken is playing.
You notice Basic played carry all 3 games.
Knowing that the golden staff is already completed,
Picks up the game too.
Oh, he didn't? What do you? Oh, he used Irithel. He used Irithel. It was Irithel, right?
Yeah. Game 1, game 2, they got carry, and then Team Hack banned it out for him. So he ended up with Irithel.
And that Irithel, he still lost that one. That was with the Dairoth.
Been playing into Akira's tempo right now. now, but
Dairoth in the golden lane.
Gusta needs to be careful here.
Yeah, there's 3. Actually, Luis here to help him out, so this might just be a disengage. Luis, though, just there to help.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Valley's not out though; they're in the lower brackets, but just the chance of getting through the lower bracket and not being knocked out is a lot higher than it is from being in the upper bracket, because they have like an extra lifeline in the upper bracket.
Actually pick up the lead. I mean, earlier on, the Valley seemed to have
Until the
sense, but they
finals, and
seemed
then
to
the
be confident
finals,
with what
I
they were
mean,
doing.
you got a
Are
best
they
of 7
playing
at the
a
end, so I guess
little
that kind of makes up for it.
aggressively into RRQ Brazil?
Well, I think it
We
comes down
didn't
to
even
draft,
harp
right?
on us
We're
talking
looking
about
at
that.
Benedetta
Again, like I had a whole
specifically,
field day with some of the
power,
top players in
strength,
North America
endurance,
about
they
these
just
games.
play level 4.
In
It's
this
already
match,
good.
this was one that we
Unfortunately,
thought the
Chicken,
draft
that's
was
not
actually
the same for
atrocious.
Lapu
Like,
Lapu. He only feels
Zane on the
relevant as soon as
Fredrin
he hits level
jungle,
4 and
we
starts
just think it was a
participating
good
in
pairing. We didn't think
fights,
Matilda and
fights with the
Brandis
Bravest Warrior.
was a
So the
great
fact that
idea
Takashi
either.
is already
Actually,
enabled
most people
RRQ
felt like
Akira
Kuhn
to
shouldn't
get
have
this
had
lead is already
Brandis
great because that was the
at
toughest
all.
part. Now they just need
Especially up against this Xavier. There was other
eventually
options
outscale the
on
Valley.
the board to
Basic
complement
on
this
journey,
draft
yes, he
that
can
might have went a
hyper-
little
he can
better.
hyper farm
You
and
got
scale
to
as high
ram
as
this
he
into
can,
not
but
only
if
like
he can't get in
Lolita
range,
with the
it's
Numium
still a
right
tough
up
game.
against
Yeah, I think that's the downside of the
Xavier
carry, right?
with the
The
Mystic
range.
Shield.
The
Both
range
of
is a
those
big
are
factor
great
here.
counters
So you really
for
got to be
Rams,
careful
right?
on how
Because
you're
you have to group
positioning
up for the
it,
Cold Ultra
right?
now,
The Valley at this
especially after they
point, almost
adjusted.
10
It's like
minutes in,
where
they don't
once
have
you
a
leave
turret
the
just
vicinity
yet,
of
so
Fernandez,
they
you
gotta be
lose
careful on it,
the
especially
Cold
losing map
Ultra
control.
shield,
They already got
right?
the
So now
Cold
you're
Ultra
forced
out.
to group,
So that's
and that's
massive before the
perfect for
next lord
Lolita,
comes. Actually,
perfect
it's already
for the
spawned.
Xavier, and then
So if
even for like
RRQ
Claude, right?
wants
The
to go
Blaze can do
for
it. He can quickly come in and burst it out. He doesn't have to get the kill. Breaking the Cold Ultra is good enough, right? You get everyone, you know, sitting there kind of stunned out.
They have a
With the
perfect time.
shield broken, and it's like
They can literally
like,
start it,
it's
start
just
pulling
little
away,
things like
allow
that,
the
you know,
Valley
like
to actually
adds up
move
in
because
the
they've got
draft
priority on
game.
both bot and top
They
side.
just have to.
They're
It has
gonna
to
be
be a better
bobbing and
focus and a
weaving here.
clear
The Lord
identity
still
of what
being
they're
worked on
going for.
half
Because
health
right now,
so
like, they're
far.
comping all over the
Hussein,
place.
though,
You know,
he
you
is gonna be
have
just taking the
some
front of his
charge, you
damage.
have a
They're
little
gonna
bit of
go all
post, you
for
got a little bit of
super
early,
shark. Snipe
you
down
got
the
a
Darling
little
Line.
bit of late. It's
Gusta
just there's nothing really
going
clear in the
What
box
a petrify
for what they want to
from
go for.
Takashi. Able to find a
And,
basic, the
yeah, it's
perfect
definitely,
target needed.
and that's what back on harping in that whole coach situation. Looking at this play one more time, this is one of the things I was talking about with the Lapu Lapu, right? If you rewind it just a little bit, like look at Benedetta, right? Just watch Takashi.
Allow the Valley to actually move because they've got
Clear the
priority
minions.
on
Now
both
watch
bot
Chicken.
and top
Chicken's gonna
side.
clear these minions.
they're gonna be,
Benedetta's gonna
bobbing
go
and
and join the
weaving
team
here.
fight.
The Lord
Look,
is
he's
still
already
being worked on
halfway
half
across the
health
map.
so
Look how
far.
long it takes
What was
Chicken to
Zane,
get into
though?
this fight because he's running the Lapu
He is gonna
Lapu.
be
Watch
just
this.
taking the front of this damage. They're gonna
Takashi
go
already
all
in the
for
fight, getting a
super
kill.
sharks.
Chicken hasn't even hit the
Down
mid river. Now look at Chicken. He's sitting in the bush.
Gusta going in.
Now he's going in. He's past the mid river, and there's already 2 members down from the valley. Now watch what Chicken does. Watch what Chicken does. Brave Fighter stance, misses the stun, misses again, misses the final hit with the flicker over there by Segan on Xavier, and then he dies. Do you see what? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is my point on why I said I wasn't really a fan of the Lapu Lapu against that Benedetta. I would have, like, a Yu Zong would have been way better. He could have used the Black Dragon. He would have ran up there. He could have got to the back line, bursted down Xavier, something with the Petrify, you know, anything. But, like, you see how literally Segan on the Xavier just walked and dodged 2 of his skills. In his ultimate, pretty much got out of the Raging Slash and then flickered away, and then they got a kill on him. And I was just like, that was what Chicken kind of contributed to in that team fight. And it's not really worth it. Now, looking at this right here, right? Looking at the build so far, there's been a lot of controversy over there for Carry over there for Basic with the kind of build that he went with. Like, he went with the Corrosion Sight. That's great. Tough boots. A little bit of, you know, kind of negate that slow, some magic defense, especially going up against that Joy, going up against that Xavier. Golden Staff, that's great. But then he opted in to go for the belt, right? And I was wondering, like, and a lot of things are kind of going online right now. Like, why didn't he kind of opt in for, like, for one, there's no Wind of Nature. So he doesn't have Wind of Nature, and you have a Claude. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. And then on top of that, like, he needed to opt in for some, possibly even going for like a Wind of Nature and an Athena Shield for a little bit of defense against the mages. And I think there was, I forgot who the marksman was. A pro marksman from was kind of talking about that too. And I don't know. I feel like even with itemization, a lot of people have kind of been saying that that Basic is the it's kind of like the deciding factor, because he's not the strongest by far, like, I wouldn't think anybody would rate Basic a top marksman in M4, you know? And it could also go down to itemization a little bit, but it's something I kind of noticed.
Takashi goes in, forces them back, and just like that, they're gonna lose more
Definitely.
space on the map.
It was just rough. See, this game was like, it really exposed a lot of things to the side of Valley, right? Like, they lost up against Team Hack, but this loss against Akira really showed the gap in their mentality and their gameplay and setup up against a team like RQ Akira. Like, they got a thorough lead here.
Not to mention, look how much mobility RQ has. They got the only one who's not really as mobile is Segan on the Xavier. But like they got a lot of like look at Joy, Claude, and Benedetta. You know how fast of a composition that is? It's insane. Like even if Hoon used the co-alter, like their means of getting out and wasting it is not that hard. And Xavier, he doesn't have to play close. Xavier can fight from far, bro. You know?
Especially as the game goes later on.
And
yeah.
And there's no CC. What's their CC? Mobazane on the energy eruption? Maybe a knockup from Fredrin? Like that's all they really have. They don't have. They got Circling Eagle, a direct CC, and that's like a quick stun. But there's you have what? Lapu can kind of rush in and get a single stun as well, or maybe a group stun. But that's not something to bank on for like set potential, you know? There's no really set potential. And you see Luis, bro, just wait to the end of this game. Look at, you'll see like the difference in what some group CC can do is insane.
Biggest objective is going to be that Lord. But yes, as I was saying,
and I think like you said, when Hoon's running the Faramis, you're requiring the team to kind of rotate around him to stay alive, and that is exactly what, you know, a Lolita player wants. They want you to group up together. For us, that could be a 5-man set. Xavier, Mystic Field, group set as well, and that's on fast cooldown. Not to mention the Transcendent or whatever ultimate that you can use that Dawning Light with it, the wider range one, and do some additional damage. Like it's insane. And then you see Xavier right there. He has Divine Glaive. It's just a little harder. They don't really have a strong frontline presence to stop them. Like they have frontline capability in terms of trying to burst somebody down in a little bit of a time, but like there's no really like set group setter for an engagement.
They force Mobazane back, right? But he's going to be able to heal back up here. Still the battle for this Lord. It looks like everybody.
I think this is it. This is the deciding factor right here, right?
Meanwhile, Takashi
and then this is the similar style to where they lost in the other game. They took no towers. There goes the co-alter activated. That's lured into the hands of RQ. And this is game. Watch this set. This is what happens when you have group CC and you have a team that requires to rotate around a Faramis. Look at that. Huge. You see that?
And it's just disaster for the Valley. Who tried to saving grace, but he can't. 3 down, 2 in the
Not to mention Lord already up all the way up the mid lane as well. Like,
might be too late.
That Lord was fast too. I feel like sometimes my Lords be taking smoke breaks. That Lord was already on it. I don't know what they feeding these M4 Lords, but they don't wait at all. That man was up the lane before. You see how fast Lord got into there? It's crazy.
Yeah, how fast they ended
For real. And this is kind of what we were talking about, guys. Just a couple of insight on what we think the Valley can kind of do moving forward if they do want to have a chance of staying inside of M4 and not getting taken out within the first 2 days. Especially like I think even Kadeku said the same thing. We think Burn Team Flash, I think that's their highest chance of winning. But when they go up against we don't think Todak's going to lose to RQ. But if Todak, for some reason, loses to RQ, Indonesia, and they go down, I honestly feel like Todak's going to give them a run for their money, man. And they need to look at it like and play a little bit differently than what we've seen in the other 2 games. Maybe a little bit of a better answer in the XP lane. Get something that Chicken's comfortable with, but not allowing the other XP lane to kind of outdo him. Maybe even waiting. Like, if you're not going to lock in a Benedetta, something that you know you're going to be able to outcut pretty much everybody in the game, then wait and have an answer. Even pick up the Yuzong. Like, pick up something that can keep up with the mobility, Because those XP laners, like a lot of people sleep on it and the whole purpose of it. And it's not to win a 1v1, it's to create opportunity for the neutral objectives. And that's all these teams need to kind of close it out with the early finish, like you've seen with the game we just watched over there with Takashi and Benedetta. So they need an answer for that. A little bit more of Hoon paying attention on the map in the beginning. You cannot allow easy first blood. Like, this is M4. This is not some local tournament. Like, this is M4. Here, actually, let me, before I close it out, I just wanted to show you guys that one play I promised I'd circle back around to. And it was first blood on the game. And I was wondering, like, what Hoon was doing. Like, right here. Here, it's exactly right here now. Watch Hoon.
I want to see how it plays out.
You see how close he's playing to that? Like, look how close he's playing to that.
Absolutely. We want to see that.
There goes Takashi. Boom. Dead. Bro, this is 50 seconds in. And I'm wondering a couple of things when I see that. I don't even see teams, like, we cast teams all the time. And normally teams...
You know what's actually funny?
Yeah, go ahead. Uh-huh.
Play that again.
Yo, rewind it again? All right, I got you.
No, just play it. Play it for me.
It's the Valley in this best of one.
It's about to happen right in the first 50 seconds.
This
So
is getting so exciting. I mean, right now we can already see
I gotta
that
see
Luis
something.
opening up the map,
Where I
trying to
just-
give some vision, trying to
I'm
figure
not
out
sure if my
Moba's
eyes
pathing,
deceived me, but I think I might have seen
everyone
something crazy
talks
right
about
there.
the Valley, and they always say that Mobazane is one of the main.
and while you're talking
pillars
about
of
that, like, Benedetta in the bottom side, if you look at Benedetta, they want to interrupt me so rudely. But anyway, look at Benedetta. She's fighting Chicken right now. She clears the lane and then she leaves. And I don't know if Chicken called anything out, but if we pause it right here, Hoon is already superly overextending. Look where Zane is. Zane is not contesting. Zane is not going for their buff. So I'm like, why is Hoon playing so aggressive that close to their jungle? You know, not to mention, you know, Benedetta's fast, has high mobility. And I'm wondering, like, you see Shark trying to give him vision in case there's a backdoor play, but, like, still, I'm wondering, like, why? You clear the minions. You're not going to get a kill. And not to mention, Chicken already got his lane cleared. And I'm wondering, like, at this point, if I'm Chicken, I'm screaming, yo, back up. Benedetta's coming to the mid lane. 50 seconds in. And I don't know if it was a miscommunication, if he thought Benedetta was in the bush, but it doesn't matter. You gotta call these out. But let's go ahead and play. I know Deku wanted to kind of see something with this too. So
I want to see how it plays out, right?
Yeah, I had to see because it didn't make sense how it actually makes no sense how Hoon would
Absolutely.
die.
We want to see that highlight reel. Oh no.
Oh, okay, no, actually,
Petrify.
no, yeah, the Petrify was there. I was just wondering if there was an opportunity for Hoon to use his flicker because his flicker was still up.
well,
So
it's not worth the risk
like-
in my opinion. And you burn your flicker in that process too, and not get a kill. You know what I mean? I when I saw that, I was like,
well, I mean,
oh
you
no.
avoid the death though if he does use flicker, right? Because first blood gives a nice amount of gold.
Yeah, but he wasn't even.
over. They put
I don't know, man. And I thought about it. I was like, maybe he was banking on level 2. It could have been the flicker for sure. Maybe he was baiting on Shark having that dash to be able to pull him out. But you know, Shark opted in for his first skill for the Wisps, so he didn't have a means to pull him out. So and then he didn't flicker in time, and the Petrify hit him. But I'm like, regardless, I was still wondering why he was so overextended so much. There was so much
he was
time.
Definitely still overextended.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there was maybe an opportunity, a window for him to not give up that kill there.
We're
He
trying
was
to make
definitely
sense
in
of
the
it.
wrong. He should have never been there that far up. But
Yeah.
if there was a way for him to like not, throw a first
Oh,
blood
yeah, I
to
feel
the side
you.
of RQ Akira.
Yeah,
he could have took it.
you know that meme where that dude's like, he looks to the side, and he's looking at the camera, and all those question marks come up. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm like, huh? Hold on, what? But that's just a couple things, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in today over there on the MLBB North American Discord server. Shout out to Spade and all the amazing hosts and moderators over there to let us, the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy,
Yes,
kind of
Spade.
do this. So maybe one day we'll get Spade on the VC with us, and Spade can give us a whole breakdown. You know what I'm saying, Spade? And what you think? But guys, no, honestly, it's been a pleasure. Today's focus was just to kind of talk about the group stage and talk about some of our opinions for some of these teams, but focus primarily on the Valley. Also kind of break down what's going to be going on in the knockout stage. You see the bracket right here, so definitely be tuning in. First match will be live January 7th. So we will be doing a watch party for that. Super excited. If you guys do want to tune in, just check our announcements on the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy Discord server. We'll make sure to drop the link for our Discord as well. Our whole purpose, what we do every Monday through Thursdays, we host events for North American teams to play on a professional platform. All matches are casted. We have little mini tournaments, King of the Hill, where teams compete in a best of one, and they switch teams. Losing team walks. New team comes on, tries to compete and snatch the crown off of the teams that claim that victory. And they try and go as high as they can, taking out as many teams as they can. So if you think you're up to the challenge, you think you have what it takes to play in a professional scene, definitely tune in, man, or tap into the community. As we do this every Monday through Thursday, and then we also host series best of threes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and all of this starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You'll hear me casting on there, hosting it. You'll have Coach Deku on there with the play-by-play. You'll be able to figure out if Coach Deku breathes or not. You'll see some amazing casters such as Eunice on a really cool caster, Master Rim. There's a lot of cool people. So, like I said, we're here for you guys. I appreciate y'all being here today too, man. It was fun. This was KOL mentoring sessions. Shout out to Coach Deku for kind of tackling this with me, and we appreciate the opportunity from MLBB NA Discord. As always, guys, that is going to kind of close it out for today. Next weekend we'll be doing something as well, so just definitely check the announcements in the mentoring sessions, and it'll be posted out there over there by Spade or one of the amazing MLBB NA moderators. But like I said, our show doesn't stop here. I'm a content creator myself. I live stream all the time. I'm actually about to go live after this and try and practice my Carl TZ fanny. So if you guys want to see that, definitely check us out over there on Facebook, because we're on day 2 of fanny. So, but other than that, like I said, if you're looking for analytics breakdowns, if you're looking for a coach for your team, reach out to Coach Deku. He is here. Myself as well. We'll definitely get the job done and get you guys in the right direction. And it's been a pleasure, guys. As always, appreciate y'all. And that's going to close out KOL Mentoring Nights today. Everybody on Facebook, YouTube, don't go anywhere. We will be going live to kind of get in this fanny gameplay. So maybe you guys, your pro cablers out there, can give me some advice. But thanks so much, guys. I appreciate y'all. It's going to close it out on KOL Mentoring Night. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream now. But we'll see you guys hopefully in MLSA for future events this Monday. Or if not, I'll see y'all tonight in the stream. So, or on YouTube for the breakdowns of any of the teams. Like I said, we're always available. So reach out to us on Discord. Our DMs are always open all the time, 24/7. Deku sometimes doesn't even sleep. So definitely reach out, man, and we'll be available. But appreciate y'all, man. You guys take care. There we go. Still live on YouTube, though. Guys on YouTube, we are going to just transfer over to some fanny gameplays. So that'll be cool. All right, Spade, I appreciate you. I'm going to get off of the mentoring thing. I'll see you guys next Friday. Take care. All right, guys, YouTube as well. Thank you for tuning in. This is just an M4 session. So I was just covering some group discussions for M4 group stage. And we'll be doing more. I want to say tomorrow we're going to be covering 2 teams. First going to be Falcon Esports. We're going to watch all 3 of their games, kind of break them down like we did today. And then the next team we're going to be doing is Onyx Indonesia. So I want to see kind of how they play. We just recently did the Valley, and we also did Echo Philippines. So if there's any other teams you guys want to see us kind of cast over, let us know. But if you're on YouTube, go tune into us over on Facebook. They're going to be live over there. But we're just going to be playing some Mobile Legends instead of casting it and doing some breakdowns. So I appreciate y'all, man. As always, everybody on YouTube, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I'm going to see you guys on the next stream. Peace. But I'm not.